guys, and welcome to my channel. So, firstly, need to stop moving the table. Firstly, that is a things to do before we say I do. And we're just kind of ticking stuff off as we get it ready for the wedding. So there's that. Today is part 2 to me responding to the ARC testimonial from Jeffrey Jackson. I got very heated last time. So hopefully today I'll manage to keep my composure. Quick thing I wanted to mention in regards to the last video. I didn't even think about it when I was filming, but when they said about the, if we said incorrect information or if we said something wrong, then Jehovah's Witnesses would pick up on it. Everyone's got a Bible, they've got access to be able to check these things for themselves. The Jehovah's Witnesses believed that 1975, pick up the 1975, no. In my mind I was like, is that why the 1975 are called that? Jehovah's Witnesses believed that in 1975 was when the end of the earth was going to come. I think they worked it out from the Bible. Oh, look at that. I did a fake tan and got a nice orange splodge there. Oh well. Yeah, so they believe that that was when the world was going to end. Here we are in 2021. So they had to kind of backtrack and say, well, they thought that and that they'd made a mistake. But loads of Jehovah's Witnesses like completely changed their lives. They sold stuff. They really believed the end of the world was coming in 1975. So they didn't make any preparation for like the future. You know, they didn't have pensions, that kind of thing. So it's not funny, but when they say, but you know, Jehovah's Witnesses will know we're a faith-based organisation, they would tell us if we got things wrong. I'm pretty sure that plenty would have said at the time that they didn't like that and they didn't like the fact that you had guided them to that decision. So just a thought to tap on the end of last video. So where did we get to? I know we only got to like minute 8 or something. Oh, thought I deleted it. Oh, God, that was awful. So we got to the part where they were saying that they could give scriptural proof as to why women can't be elders, but not why they can't be judges. So I believe we're restarting on minute 10. So this should be the final part. I don't think I had as much to say in the second half as I did in the first, but we never know with me. I tend to warble on. I've just seen the original one that was uploaded. Oh God, it's an hour and a bit. Oh dear. Okay, I'm so sorry. I genuinely can't. So I'll stick with my baby WTS archive because they seem to have got some really good bits. The full video is uploaded, if you want to know, on Jake with 2 Ks control, but I'm going to stick with the one because 33 minutes I got like an hour of stuff to say about, so none of us need to hear me go on for hours if I listen to an hour worth of it. So let's go.
Can you understand the circumstance for a woman who brings an allegation against an elder, who is a friend of the others, who must judge the truth or otherwise of the allegation? Can you understand how that person must feel?
I can try to understand it, Your Honour, yes. But again, could I ask, and again, this is not my field of activity, but as far...
Why are you there?
Why are you there?
Why are you there? He said earlier in the video that his area of expertise or his field is translation of the Bible. So what, are you just there to argue semantics about how the Bible is translated and how it says this but it means this? the person whose field processes of the Jehovah's Witnesses should be there. And you can have two people, right? You can have like two if you're there. You can bring a buddy, bring a friend along, bring a +1. Maybe the person who deals with the processes of the organisation. Just feels like they gave the person who was least helpful in this situation, so that if he knew the answer wasn't palatable, he could be like, I'm in translation, sorry, I just can't answer, and then they never have to answer.
But as far as I understand, we have a process in place whereby a neutral member, like a circuit overseer, will be involved with such a sensitive case.
It would be the case, would it not, that even a circuit overseer is going to know an elder well?
The relationships in our congregations, it's not like your churches where people just go to church and don't talk to one another. Their congregations do become familiar, and there can be a friendship. So I agree at the point you're trying to get at, we need to know what the victim is comfortable.
So they're saying there that if an elder or a circuit overseer is the one that people would go to report these things that are happening, that they're, the judge is saying, that they'll be like, there's more of a friendship. Say it's an elder, the elders in the congregation are going to have a friendship with the elder that's being accused, and so is a circuit overseer. I'll put a like what circuit overseer or travelling overseer does here. And then Jeffrey Jackson's saying, but we're not like we're cool. We're not like your average churches. We talk to each other. That's up for debate. I feel like the elders talk at you, not really to you, but that's just my experience. And he's saying, but there's like friendships with everyone, I'll be friends with this person. It's not just elders are friends with each other. And though that could be the case, I feel like if you're a preteen or a teenager, maybe even in your 20s, and you're coming forward with these allegations and accusations about someone, then you aren't necessarily going to have, firstly, if you're female, you're not supposed to have a close friendship because the elders are male. So you're not supposed to be close and like have a really good relationship with them. But secondly, you're not going to have a close relationship with this 50-something-year-old elder who, when you are in their presence and you say, are doing a Bible study with someone and they're there, they either have to do the Bible study or you have to wear a headscarf because they're a man and they're superior. It's not exactly going to be a friendship, is it? Like, you're not going to be best mates. So, of course, they're not going to be happy, talking to these people. And if they are comfortable, great. But the judge isn't talking about those people. He's talking about if someone isn't comfortable going to a man or an elder about this, why can't there be something in place for them to go to women, considering you can't prove that women can't be judges?
As to whether or not the allegation is true or false, made by a body which could include women, and that decision would thereafter be acted upon and a decision made as to whether or not to disfellowship by the elders. Do you understand?
I do understand, and I apologise, Your Honour, for not answering directly. I didn't understand fully what you were saying. The answer, Your Honour, is such a situation would be worthy of us considering and doing research and checking the scriptures. Yes, the possibility of considering that is there.
Fuck off. That'll never fucking happen.
One of the things that's emerged in the last couple of weeks, that in Australia at least, amongst the Jehovah's, or in the Jehovah's Witness organisation, there's a practice of not reporting child sexual abuse allegations to the authorities unless required by law to do so. Do you accept that?
I'm not familiar with the statistics or the general practice, but I can tell you why there is a spiritual dilemma because of this question.
Well,
Yeah, spiritual dilemma is not the one, my lovely. There should not be a spiritual dilemma. It should literally be, are you breaking the law? Okay, you go to the police about it then. Are you breaking the law? Have you come to us? We will either go to the police if we feel that we have the legality to do that, or we will advise you to go to the police, or we will have a woman in place who we can ask you, are you happy with her going forward? And then she can do it. It's not a spiritual dilemma, my lovely. It's a legal one.
Which is this: is there a scriptural basis to that policy being not to report child sexual abuse allegations to the authorities unless required by law to do so?
So Proverbs 25, verses 8 through 10. First Peter, and the 5th chapter, and verse.
Those scriptures basically just say about not bringing reproach on your brother.
Not reporting to the authorities, is the case not that the confidentiality of the one who reported is regarded as being more important than to protect those who are still at risk?
No, Mr. Stewart, if I could just, what I'm trying to highlight is there are several factors that make it hard for a minister of religion to make a clear-cut or quick decision on this matter. Obviously, I think, again, what has been highlighted to the Commission, the elders should encourage the guardian of the child or whoever is in that family arrangement that is not the perpetrator to notify the authorities.
Yeah, so just before I left the witnesses, which was in 2019, I think in 2018 they had a magazine come out that we studied on a Sunday that was saying you won't bring reproach if you report someone to the authorities. It's the person who has done the act that is bringing reproach. Hi, Editing Beth here. Just want to say that the ARC was back in 2015 and this article came out in 2019 in May. It's the study edition number 20 in the May 2019 Watchtower. I would recommend reading it. I just think it's so interesting that they still find a way to make things really vague and never say we will go to the police. But I think they brought this one out because after the ARC they had to have something in black and white to say, oh, this is what we think, even though, as I'm going to show you now, this is not what they've encouraged in the past. They've encouraged to keep it quiet in the past. So yeah, just wanted to say that I feel like this article isn't them changing their opinions or trying to improve things. It's just them trying to protect themselves and cover their backs. But that was after years of not encouraging victims to go to the police. I'm just going to read an article from, I think we read this one last week with the Why Report What is Bad. It says, you may decide to go directly to the elders. It's not wrong to do so. I thought that they were going to do something here and actually say it's not wrong to do so, but the elders are limited in what they can do. So go to the police, because this is a legal issue. I give them too much. I give them too much praise and too high expectations, because what they actually say is usually, however, the most loving course is to approach the person involved. What? Are they talking about? This must be about if someone comes to you about it. Okay. Perhaps the facts are not as they appear to be. What? You fell and slipped in? What? Or perhaps the situation is already being handled by the elders. Well, then go to the elders and ask them. Don't ask the rapist, because I'm sure he'll lie. Calmly discuss the matter with this person. If there remains reason to believe that a serious wrong has been committed, encourage him or her to approach the elders for help. And explain the wisdom of doing so. Do not talk to others about the matter, for that would be gossip. If the person does not report to the elders within a reasonable period of time, then you should. 1 or 2 elders will then discuss the matter with the accused. The elders need to search and investigate and inquire thoroughly to see if wrong has been done. If it has, they will handle the case according to scriptural guidelines. Where does it say there to go to the police? And also, if they legally don't have any stand to go to the police, then they certainly have no legality to search and investigate and inquire thoroughly. Then it says at least 2 witnesses are required to establish a charge of wrongdoing. If the person denies the charge and your testimony is the only one, the matter will be left in Jehovah's hand. This is done in the knowledge that all things are openly exposed to Jehovah, and that if the person is guilty, eventually his sins will catch up with him. So there is absolutely no encouragement there to go to the police. Just having a look through. Does it say go to the police? No. No, it doesn't. So fuck off with your, oh, we've encouraged family members or, you know, friends of the person who's been abused.
Or sought to fade without formally dissociating, and the elders came to visit and found them celebrating Christmas or a birthday, they would be found to be in transgression of the rules, would they not?
That is not my understanding, but again, as I said, it's not my field. That goes into policy with regard to those type of things.
Why are you there?
But from my personal experience, that's not the case.
Well, you say it's not your field, but you remember the governing body, which is responsible, as you've said, for the whole field, and you.
And I want you here with me from tonight until the end of time.
If anyone knows who Mr. Stewart is, hook a girl up, yeah? He is bomb. I love this guy so much.
So if someone hasn't disassociated but has sought merely to become inactive or to fade, they're then still subject to the organisation's discipline and rules.
If they acknowledge being one of Jehovah's Witnesses.
And if they do the contrary, which is to say they're not one of Jehovah's Witnesses, the effect of that is disassociation.
That's if they decide to go down that course.
It's right, isn't it, in the case of both disassociation?
There's no decision involved. It's live or stay in this organisation. The fact that they think that choosing to change religion means choosing to turn your back on all of your family and all of your friends and your entire support network is just disgusting. And for someone who knows the emotional torture of being shunned, it's disgusting for somebody to say that it's a choice. It's never a choice to lose everybody. Everyone chooses because you have decided to change your beliefs or even clarify your beliefs, because if you've been baptized like he was at 13 and then you realize this isn't right for me, this is not what I believe, you have a human right to leave the situation that you're in. And the fact that they would think that leaving a religion, choosing to live a life that is according to what you want, hurting nobody, hurting no one.
And disfellowshipping. The remaining members of the Jehovah's Witnesses cannot associate with the disassociated or disfellowshipped person.
Yes, that's according to the Bible principles, which I'm sure you've already read.
And that it's even family members not living in the same household. Freedom from the organisation on the one hand and friends, family and social network on the other.
It's quite clear that I don't agree with that supposition.
Well,
You see, are we talking about a gross sin that's been committed or someone who just wants to leave Jehovah's Witnesses? Let me clarify it. If someone no longer wants to be an active Jehovah's Witness and they're not in the community viewed as a Jehovah's Witness, we do not have a so-called spiritual police force to go and handle that.
Put it that they have a choice to leave or not to leave. For someone who wants to leave, perhaps because they've suffered abuse by someone in the organisation and don't feel that it's been treated properly or adequately. It's a very difficult choice, isn't it? Because they must choose.
I agree with that.
And it can
Yes.
be a very cruel choice for them.
I agree. It's a difficult choice.
And it can be personally devastating because they can lose their whole social network and their families.
That can be the case, yes.
It's not can be the case. You tell people to have nothing to do with them. You've told my Jehovah's Witness family, who I blame them as well, because they could just say fuck you and still do it. So I blame them, and I'm missing nothing, let's be frank. But you are the reason that this belief is in people's minds to begin with. So saying that can be the case leaves it open to, but we don't make people. Yes, you do. Every few months you have an article come out that says make sure that you're still keeping wide berth from these people who have chosen to leave Jehovah. Oh, the cardinal sin. Aren't we awful? There are paedophiles in your congregation. There are rapists in your congregation. But it's okay. Don't worry about them. Let's worry about the people who have left because they can't handle your fucked up religion and want to have consensual, happy relationships that they can't have in the congregation. Let's villainize them. But the paedophiles, because they're safe in the congregation and are encouraged, because they say the right things to stay in the congregation, because that's what their hunting ground, let's just protect them because they said sorry, so they must be sorry because no one ever lies.
That there are those, some of whom I have heard of, that just fade away and they're not actively Jehovah's Witnesses.
You've put it that they have a choice.
That's not true, because I have actively chosen to disassociate myself because I can't bear the thought of having anything to do with them. But inactive members, disfellowship members, disassociated members, their records are kept. And the elders, when they know of a disfellowshipped or a disassociated or an active person in their area, the elders will call on them. They're encouraged to visit annually, yearly, to see these people and to see if they can get them back. So it's not a case of they fade away and they can still enjoy their friendships, but they don't have to be part of the congregation, because that's not true, because you'll make sure that you keep hounding them until they make the decision to choose to stay or go. And it's not that they just fade quietly away and we don't bother them. You make a conscious effort to visit these people and to make sure that your grip is still on them.
Mr. Jack, you were baptized at age 13, am I right?
I certainly was, yes.
And there are in fact many Jehovah's Witnesses who are baptized at an age even younger than that.
There have been some I have met that have been baptized younger.
And do you consider that at that age someone is old enough and mature enough to make a decision affecting the rest of their lives?
Yes, I do in some cases. Obviously, wouldn't be able to make that decision.
Right. So what if they have them? Do they get a get out of jail free card then? No, they don't. Because you don't give a shit. You don't give a shit how mentally prepared they are. You give a shit if they can answer the questions that you have in the organised book. If they can answer those questions verbatim, that's all you give a shit about. So if their parents, because they want a position in the congregation, say the dad wants to be an elder, but you can't be because your child's still not baptised, so you've got to get your house in order first. So that's the encouragement for them to get baptised. Or the child's friends are all getting baptised and they feel left out. Or there's things that make the organisation fun. Not really, now I look back, but things that make it bearable, like going on RBC work, which is like building kingdom halls, and you get to meet loads of people that you'd never have met before. And you can't do that unless you're baptised. I was 15 when I got baptised and I was late, getting baptised. Most people are between 14 and 16. It's just how at 15 have you got the unbiased view to be able to get baptised? I truly believe that there are things that you choose to do within the organisation to make your life bearable, but choosing to get baptised is not anything like a free choice. It's a choice with your arm up your back. It's a choice because you're guilt tripped into it. It's a choice because you want to do X, Y, and Z, and baptism is the gateway to that. There's always a reason that isn't necessarily because I believe in God and I want to serve him in this way. The majority of time, it's one of the other examples that I've given. And finally, there was just a bit that made me laugh.
Putting people to that choice makes your organisation in many respects a captive organisation.
I do not accept that at all.
Is there a scriptural basis to this policy of shunning?
Yes. Thank you very much for the opportunity to express it. 1 Corinthians is the scripture, and no doubt you've seen it already.
Mr. Jackson, I'm really just asking, is there a scriptural basis, and you've identified what it is? Because my next question is can it change? In other words, is there a basis upon which you foresee that your organisation might be able to change that policy?
No.
Shocking. That just made me laugh. He was like screaming at the idea of being able to share that scripture. He was so excited. And remember, policy isn't his field, but he's ready to jump to it when it's stuff like this that they think they've got this massive scriptural basis for, when it isn't. It's just keep the congregation clean. Or maybe get rid of your paedophiles and your rapists, and maybe the congregation will be clean then. This is going to be a shorter video than the last one, as you can tell. This was a really good video to watch. I'll watch it in its entirety because I didn't realise that this wasn't the whole thing. I knew that it was like cut up to make it a bit shorter, but I didn't realise it was like an hour and a half of testimonial. So I'll do it again, and if there was anything from the full video that I felt like I should add or was like different, or that I had something to prove was not true about what they said, then I'll do a new video. But I'm happy to have watched it. I'm happy to have got all of my thoughts out. I'm burping a lot now, and that is a sign that I need to stop because my acid reflux is getting bad because I'm getting stressed. Next time, because I had it recommended, I'm going to react to Bottlegate. I'd never even heard of it, watched it, so funny. So I'm going to watch that, and hopefully it'll be a bit more of a light-hearted video. Yeah, if there's anything that you want me to respond to, react to, any videos you want me to watch, any articles you want me to explain, any beliefs that you're a bit confused, or beliefs that you think make the Jehovah's Witnesses right, let me know and I will do videos on those. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure you like and subscribe if you did, and I will see you soon. Love you very much. Bye.